Well, hello. We're celebrating Pentecost, that great event in the life of the church when the Holy Spirit came down upon all the believers. Luke tells us about Pentecost in the book of Acts. Jesus was gone from people's sight, but he'd promised that he would send them a gift. And at Pentecost, that gift, the Holy Spirit, came. Pentecost was an existing festival for the people. It was the harvest festival. Pentecost just means 50 days, and this festival came 50 days after the Passover. But this harvest festival was one like no other when the Holy Spirit came. It was a really dramatic event. It was a very noisy event. We're told that there was a roar like a violent wind, and you know how noisy the wind can be. Then there was a great dramatic sight as well, and there were tongues of fire came from heaven and landed on the heads of all the people. And then if that wasn't enough, it got even more noisy, because the people who received the Spirit, they began talking, praising God, and they were all speaking in their own languages. This was in Jerusalem, and they were gathered there from all parts of the world for the festival. And although they spoke praising God in their own language, they could all understand each other. And the Holy Spirit came to people from all parts of the world, for all peoples. It would have been wonderful to have been there, wouldn't it? But actually we're all in the age of Pentecost. If you're a Christian believer, the Holy Spirit, that same Pentecost Spirit, is upon you and within you. And we'll look at the sermon in a bit and what that means. But now I just want to show you this. I love these light catchers, and I hope you can see it. Can you see the doves there? And we're told that as well as the wind and the fire and all the voices, the Holy Spirit came like a dove. And the dove in the Bible is always a symbol of God's presence and blessing and protection and safety. Do you remember the story of Noah? Noah and his family, and the animals were in the ark. They were in a lockdown for safety in the days of the flood. And Noah wanted to know, was it safe to leave lockdown in the ark? And he sent out a dove, but the dove came back really quickly because the danger was still out there, and the dove had nowhere to land. But then Noah tried again. A bit later he sent out the dove, and this time it came back with an olive branch in its mouth, a sign that it was now safe. God had brought his people through the danger and was leading them on. And can you see and hear the rainbow? God said to Noah that the rainbow in the sky was a sign of God's protection, God's promise, and God's presence with his people. And I've loved how in our lockdown in these recent days, rainbows have been appearing in windows all over, often drawn by children, reminding us that God is with us and that God's promises are sure and they're true. And even as we come out of lockdown, God's promises and protection are with us. And Pentecost is all about God's promise. The Holy Spirit was promised. And right at the beginning of time, even before Noah, God made a promise with Abraham that through him all the peoples of the earth would be blessed. And it seemed unlikely that promise could be fulfilled, but at Pentecost we see that happening as the Holy Spirit comes, not just on one group of people, but upon people from all over the world. And so we have that Spirit upon us, no matter who we are, our background, where we're from, our circumstances. If we believe in Jesus, then the Spirit is on us and in us, giving us God's promises and protection and leading us through life. And Luke tells us that on that great day of Pentecost, the Spirit came first on the disciples who were indoors. And then other people heard the noise and the commotion, and they came rushing to see what was happening, and then they too were blessed with the Spirit. And that's the same movement for all of us. People will see the Holy Spirit in our lives, and they will come to see, and they will come to know that Jesus has sent his Spirit to them too, and then they will go out as well, and the life of the Holy Spirit will turn our whole world upside down. So I'm going to go indoors now, and we will see you inside in a moment. Thank you.